Hello again. Our video this time discusses the email etiquette in the educational setting. In the era of the internet these days, we find emails as being a significant and integral part of the communication. Therefore, it is very important for students to learn about how to send an effective, appropriate, and respectful emails that not only convey the message successfully, but also follow the proper etiquette of email communication. This presentation covers information about parts of an email, how to send and reply to one, and tips on how to compose an effective and appropriate email. First of all, let's take a look at parts of an email. Empty draft of an email will look somewhat like this. Basically, the standard components of an email include the header, the sender or the from field, the recipient fields, the to, CC, and BCC field, the subject field, the space for you to type your email message, the send button together with insert or attachment and discard button. In the header or from field, here is where you put your email address. In the academic context, always put your official institution email address provided for you. To field is for the intended recipient of the email. Type the email address here. CC means carbon copy. It means that the person who you put the email address here are getting the email as FYI for your information message. The email is not directly intended for him or her, but they need to be included in the email communication. The BCC field, or blind carbon copy, on the other hand, has similar features as the CC field, except that no one else can see their email addresses. Thus, that will protect their privacy. So if you want a certain person to be included in the email communique, but you thought that the person's email address should not be revealed to other recipients, put their email address in the BCC field. This is especially useful and appropriate if you send out a message to a big group of people with different levels of involvement regarding the message contained in the email. Then we have the subject field. This is where you put the topic of your email. Be as precise and concise when writing your email subject. In the space when you type your message, there are at least 4 components you need to know. First is the salutation part. This is the part where you address the recipient of the email. In the academic context, depending on whom you're sending the message to, the level of formality vary in terms of address you use to the recipient. If you send an email to your professor, it is a common practice to use the academic title like doctor or professor, followed by the professor's full name or last name. If you're sending an email to your classmate or group members, it is okay if you use hi, hello, howdy, and followed by their first names. After the salutation, you can type your message here. Try to be as clear as possible in writing your message. But remember not to make the message too long. So be succinct and brief. Make small paragraphs containing 2 or 3 sentences if you want to make several points. You can use bullet points too to make your ideas clearer. Your tone in the message would depend on who the recipients are. Be mindful and considerate in choosing your tone and wording in your message. Then, you can put your closing remarks about right here. You can write something to thank the recipient for the time or saying you're looking forward to meeting or hearing from them. Last is your signature lines. This is where you write your name, your institutional affiliation, or your current position. Now let's see the example of an email. Let's say the sender of this email is John Doe and his email address is doe.123@university.edu and he typed it in the from field. And let's say he wanted to send this email to a professor with the email address professor.1@university.edu and a fellow student with the email address student.1@university.edu. So he typed their email addresses in the to field. It is the field where you want the person you will get the response from. Now, the professor in the email address professor.2@university.edu in the CC field is not the main recipient of the email, but according to John Doe, he or she needs to know the content of the email or the issue is being discussed via this email, so he included him in the CC field. As mentioned before, people in the BCC are also not the direct recipient of the email and have the similar category as in the CC field, but only the sender and the owner of these email addresses could see the emails in the BCC field. In other words, they have better protection in terms of privacy. Now we have the subject, is type, presentation, and reports. Now to the message part. Make sure your email includes a courteous greeting. Address your contact with appropriate level of formality and make sure you spell the name correctly. In the main message, try to be as clear but concise as possible. Emails are supposed to be read quickly and often on the go. If you write too long of a message, that will be taken as a signal of poor communication skills, and your emails will be ignored. Don't forget to make nice closing statements that show gratitude and appreciation to the recipient, and at the end of the email, carefully write your signature lines. Include your full name and your affiliation. If you're ready to reply to an email, you can select to reply to the sender by clicking Reply. If you reply to multiple recipients, which include those in the CC and BCC field, click Reply All. Be mindful and use your discretion to decide what you need to do when replying to an email. If you need to forward an email, please provide some context of the forwarded email. Don't forward anything without editing it. Now here are some tips on how to send an email. Make sure your email includes a courteous greeting and closing, and address your contact with appropriate level of formality. Always spell check. Emails with typos are simply not taken as seriously. Read and reread your email out loud to ensure the tone is what you desire. Now make sure you're using proper sentence structure. First word capitalized and appropriate punctuations necessary. Do not write in capitals. If you write in capitals, it seems like you're shouting. Next is to be careful with casual abbreviation and emoticons. Casual abbreviations like by the way, BTW, or as soon as possible, ASAP, and emoticons are simply too informal to be included in email. Avoid long sentences. Try to keep your sentences to a maximum of 15 to 20 words. If you need to make an attachment, make sure the documents are attached properly before sending the email. Now let's take a look at the tips for replying to an email. If you cannot respond to an email promptly, at the very least email back confirming that you received the email and inform the sender when he or she can expect your response. Do not overuse reply to all feature. Only use reply to all if you really need your message to be seen by each person who received the original message. Feel free to modify the subject field to more accurately reflect the conversation's direction. And answer and expect an answer swiftly but intelligently. We send out an email because we wish to receive a quick response. Do not expect your professor to respond quickly late at night or on weekends. And finally, don't make it personal. Email is a kind of personal communication, but not overly personal. Always maintain your professional attitude. I hope you have a successful email communication. Thanks for watching.